What's going on, everybody? We're back with another episode of the Coast to Coast podcast. We're doing just a little recap, just kind of reminiscing a bit on the NBA Finals that we just witnessed, the great NBA Finals, which I know we had all the injuries and stuff leading up to this Finals, and both teams don't deserve to be here, blah blah blah. I don't really want to hear any of that. We need to just appreciate how great this Finals was, and it's all the fantastic players and performances we got. So before we get into that, how you guys doing? How's everybody?
Doing swell. Like you said, you nailed it on the spot about these finals. Don't complain because there's an excuse for almost every ring at this point if you want to make it like that.
Oh, yeah. I saw an article earlier. It was they gave an asterisk to every single NBA finals since 1950 or something.
Yeah, no, I mean, we're going to have a blog post coming up. We're talking about just that. There really is every year you can point to one little injury or one little call, whatnot. It just sucks that this year it was pretty egregious. There were a lot of just mega stars that got injured in pretty unfashionable ways. But
hey, breaking news. Exactly. This shit ain't 2K.
Exactly. It's the sliders. Yeah, the sliders are not all injury free is not on. These guys got
just basketball
in front of them. Yeah, exactly. So, without further ado, we'll just get into it. We got to start with the Greek freak himself, freaking Giannis, who we really just witnessed an all-time performance. We really witnessed one of the best series. I mean, I just got some crazy facts. He's the seventh player in NBA history to have 50 points in the finals with Bob Pettit, Elgin Baylor, Rick Barry, Jerry West, Michael Jordan, LeBron James. All those guys are in the Hall of Fame and all-time greats. Well, not LeBron yet, but he'll be there. First player with 50 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 blocks, and the first player in NBA history to record multiple 30-point halves in a single final series. Just crazy stuff. He was 35, 13, and 5 on basically 62% shooting. And, like I said, it was historic, man. It was really he capped it off with probably the best finals game I've since LeBron's 50-point game in 2018. And, I think it just really ranks up with one of the all-time greatest finals games. It was insane. I mean, what was going through you guys' head? I think just it really is LeBron. It's you're just witnessing this elite level greatness that we just have not seen that many times in NBA history. So I'll start with you, Liam. Just what was going through your head? Just thinking, just watching the Greek freak just drop a 50-piece, a Chick-fil-A 50-piece on the Suns.
Man, I think you got to look at it. I mean, for us, the greatest playoff performer we've seen in our lifetimes is LeBron James. I don't care if you hate him. I don't care what you think about him. LeBron shows up when it's the playoffs, and especially when it's the finals. We've seen, leading the entire finals in all statistical categories. And this is what Giannis was doing out there for them, the Bucks. I mean, like you said, that 50-point game, but there was nobody that could guard him on this Phoenix team. And really, there's nobody that can guard this man at all. I mean, 50 points, he just was nonstop. And to be like that from the free throw line, missing only 2 shots on nearly 20 attempts is just ridiculous. I mean, you just got to give praise to this guy. I mean, dude who's fought through so much adversity in his life. I think as much as people want to see Chris Paul, win his ring, I think at this point, Chris Paul's been in the league for so many years and that he had all these chances, and that we got to start looking at these young guys like Giannis, only 26 years old, by the way, will turn 27 during next season. It's just crazy to think that he's already on the path to greatness where he could end up as the greatest player of our next LeBron for us, the next great player. But I think, as much as it sounds stupid to say in the moment, we can't go too quick to overrate him. We don't want to say, oh, he's already the best player in the league, as much as that, because we want to make sure he still has that chip on his shoulder, that he's still fighting for, keep being the next player. I mean, I saw something that was down to 10 seconds left. Who do you want having the ball? And they put Giannis on their list. He's not a closer yet. I mean, sure, Giannis put on a great game, but you're getting Chris Middleton the ball if it's a situation like that. He hit the shot against the Heat in the first round. But, a great overall performance by Giannis. He is progressing to be that great player. Already 2 MVPs, 2 Defensive Player of the Years, a Finals MVP, and a hard-earned ring going against, likes greatness of Kevin Durant, going against a Miami Heat team that had given them struggles in the past, and even being a red-hot Atlanta Hawks team.
Yeah, Jose.
Yeah. Great segue into Chris Middleton that you mentioned him. We were talking about it in the group chat. Trying to find the record here. They had like 15-1. What was their record?
Like 15
when Chris Middleton
over like a certain percentage,
42%. Right? Oh, here it is. Yeah. 15-1 when K Middleton shoots 42% or better, and 1-6 when it's under 42. And 42 is like nothing even that crazy.
For him, he's a really good shooter too.
Yeah, he's usually like 50%. Like,
yeah. And then 18 points on 75% shooting in the clutch. The next closest had 4.
Wow.
In the entire playoffs. But yeah, and then tied LeBron for the most tying or go-ahead field goals in a single playoff run of 15.
Crazy. Which is incredible. That is almost as incredible as like the Giannis stuff too. Like 15 game tying go-ahead shots in fourth quarter OT. Like, and LeBron's like 2007 run where it was just like, went up against the Pistons when they're still really good. Like basically he was their guy, their only guy. Unlike Middleton, who has Giannis. LeBron was like the guy, and Middleton was still doing this, even with Giannis out there too. Crazy. Yeah. Like, shout out to Middleton, man.
Yeah. But yeah, like you said, he's their closer. And I think Giannis, like, he's still got that step to take. Obviously, we saw his redemption story. He was able to hit his free throws when it mattered. But, in this league, you're going to need a jump shot eventually. And he's been getting better. I mean, every year he's been improving. But I think that's like his next like big leap to take.
Yeah, he's got that nice little like one leg fadeaway. He was starting to add that a little bit in the last couple rounds. And I mean, you guys both touched on it. It's just crazy. Like, he's only 26, going on 27, and I think he still has more to go. And I think even in like the last 2 rounds, I think really that Nets series was just huge because like I think really if KD's foot was like an inch, smaller, I just don't really think like I think Giannis like they really needed to get through. They needed like that monkey off their back, getting past.
That was the turning point.
Exactly, that was the turning point. I think if they don't get by the Nets, I think the Giannis and the Middleton of old might still be around. I think that was really the like you said, the turning point to reach the greatness that they reached because I think. Yeah, if KD hits that shot, obviously we don't see it, but I don't think they gain that confidence to, push past and become champions. And I think, Liam, you touched on another thing. CP3, that arc would have been amazing as well. But just to see Giannis, like just, his whole story, such a great, wholesome guy, stayed in Milwaukee. Him and Middleton have been there from the start, 8 years. They were both, barely getting any PT. They came up together. It's just like really heartwarming story to see that. And, speaking of CP3, sad way to go out. He did save the legacy a tad. He had really good games 5 and 6. But that game 4, I think, it's going to linger for a while just because they could have stolen that game. Like, they could have gone up 3-1 in that game. Really, it was just Booker, the only one giving them any offense, and they still almost won. It still came down to the Bay and block, and I think, just tough for CP3. What do you guys think? What do you guys think is next for CP after this?
I mean, I think this was his best chance that he'll probably ever have at a ring, and he pretty much blew it. So after this, I mean, he's like 36, 35. So I would run it back.
He's already 36. So
he's 36. He's 36. He'll be 36 next season.
Yeah. I mean, I would run it back with the Suns. I mean, that's really the only chance they've got. I can't see him anywhere else. I know I've seen like Lakers rumors and all this other stuff. I don't see it, and I don't think he'll succeed.
People are going to illegitimize him if he goes to the Lakers. So, no, if the Lakers win and CP's their point guard, no one's going to care about CP's ring.
Yeah.
The media will bash him to the ground.
Yeah, and I think if he stays with the Suns, I don't think he's gonna. I think he's still got 2-3 more pretty solid years. I think he can continue to run it back. Getting to that, like the Suns moving forward. It's a tough loss. Obviously, going up 2-0 and losing the next four. With CP, I think, you're getting a couple more good years at him. I think they should just run it back and just, keep competing, man. Because, I mean, you never – like, this was their best chance because it just got so many great breaks. It's only going to be harder from here because the Warriors are going to come back, pretty good next year. The Lakers are going to come back. the Kings are coming.
The Kings are on the cusp of a championship.
Kings are coming, bro.
De'Aaron Fox is going to jump up to like 30 points a game.
He needs 60. You need 60 from De'Aaron to make the playoffs.
Bro.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're going to do this offseason.
Not fire Luke Walton, I'll tell you that. But
whatever you guys do, it's probably going to be the wrong decision, honestly.
That's guaranteed.
Put Jose at GM, bro. Give him all the capital. They'll do better than any of them.
Dude, when we drafted Gary Trent, I was like, we have to keep this guy. And then like 5 minutes later, traded. Gone.
For what? For like nothing, probably.
For like a future second rounder or something.
Yeah.
In like 2028.
Yeah, something stupid. I was like, bro. And now we can't even play Buddy. We're trying to trade him. Bogey's gone. I mean, we got Halliburton now, but fuck.
No, Halliburton was a good decision, though.
Yeah, but that was kind of a no-brainer. Like, if they didn't take him at 12,
yeah,
you're just like, that's bad.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Halliburton, like, the Suns could have had him. I think he, like, should, like, obviously, like, should have been the pick. Like, their pick, Jalen Smith, didn't even play at all, even though they really did need they needed a backup center pretty badly, like, especially once Sarge went out. Like, they really, really needed, like, a backup for Ayton, who – let's get to Ayton real quick because we gave Ayton a massive love fest a few episodes ago when he was going off in the conference finals and whatnot, and he came back down to earth definitely in this series. I think a lot of that is because of Giannis and the incredible defense, but it's just sad to see him kind of come back down to earth and not continue that pace. But I think he developed a lot, and I think this whole experience is just going to help him so much. I think he's really, this experience was crucial for him going forward. And he's only, he's going on 23.
Yeah. This is what?
He's 23. Yeah. He turns 23 today, I think. Today?
Oh.
Yeah, today's his 23rd birthday.
Hey, that's lit. Shout out to DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Ayton.
July 23rd.
Bahamas boy. Yeah.
A lot of fun. He was one of the best parts of this playoffs. Just like I love seeing like guys like reach
the valley oop.
The valley oop. I love seeing guys reach their potential, and that was like awesome to watch him. But
yeah,
kind of flamed out a bit in the finals. I don't know. What do you guys attribute that to? I think it's just Giannis, honestly. Like Giannis.
Yeah, it's part Giannis, and also his age just really showed. I mean,
yeah,
it's his first final. This is his first playoffs. Their first playoffs. Period. Like, let alone finals, and they're facing Giannis, who's like literally has that eye that nothing's gonna get in his way from his championship. Like, he's fearing for his life at that point, and he didn't want any smoke with Giannis at all.
No,
I mean, he had no chance defending him. I mean, no matter how strong DeAndre Ayton is, Giannis, there's a reason his name's the Greek Freak. It's not just because he's had the freakish skill; it's because he's got freakish athleticism. He's 6'11". He gained 50 pounds of weight and muscle since his rookie season. Absolute crazy stat that was coming out there. But, we did see a lot of progression of Ayton, but he's got to really take an offensive leap next year. I think he's got to be in the 18-point range, 18-point per game range. What he did in his second season, but it's got to be more valuable points. Some real, like, efficient playing from him. So it's going to be interesting to see from him. I think there's not too much crazy potential on this team outside of Booker and Ayton. I don't really see a guy that could become a third star. I mean, I do think Mikal Bridges has a lot to do for himself, but I mean, I think like 17 points per game is like Mikal Bridges' ceiling, in my opinion. So, I mean, it's really going to be about these role players and how they can bring everyone around. And, it's going to be hard to attract free agents to the Phoenix, though. That's going to be the problem for them.
Yeah, definitely. Like the biggest guys are going to get are like some, like veteran, like 7th, 8th, 9th man guys, no one too crazy.
Y'all remember game 1 when Giannis posted up Ayton and like backed down onto him, and Ayton moved like 4 feet back? I think after that, Aiden was like, "Oh shit! Like I'm in deep shit now." Because up
Yeah,
to that
like
point, like no one had really challenged him like that.
yeah, like you're in trouble. Like
I mean,
I'm for sure in trouble.
Aiden held Nikola Jokic, the MVP, like in
Yeah,
under guard. So that's pretty crazy to think.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
but
much different
Jokic
play
isn't the
style.
same. Yeah, Jokic isn't like the same imposing like physical figure that Giannis is.
But still, I mean, the
Yeah, no,
Still
MVP in the
impressive.
league, who averaged
yeah,
27 a game.
two different. Yeah, exactly. That's a massive confidence boot. Like if you could hold your own with the MVP, but just like they're just two different players. Like
Oh yeah,
um, both Aiden. Yeah, I want to see more touches. Like I think throughout the whole playoffs, I think he was just getting a lot of buckets like throughout the flow of the game, and I just want to see like more like design plays for him because I think like I mean college, like high school, like he's very skilled. Like I mean, he's got like a nice little jumper. Like I think he's got a lot of really like solid moves around the basket. I think I just want to see that utilized more. Like like you guys said, just uptaking some more points, more opportunities, and I want them to see him get the ball more because I think the whole thing was like Booker and Paul maybe not being able to trust him, but I think he earned their trust this playoffs because he massively overachieved and he played his role way better than anyone could have imagined from him. I just want to see more touches from him going forward. Yeah, I want to see him get to like that 18 points a game at least, and even he could get to 20 too. I think he's that talented.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. Bridges too. We mentioned Bridges a bit. Yeah, I think 17, 18 points is ceiling for him. I want to see a little bit more consistency from him. He was very on and off. There's a lot of times where it's just like, where is
missing shots that I thought he'd make. He had a lot of corner threes when I was watching. I was like, easy, just shanks them.
Yeah, I definitely want to see a lot more consistency. Campaign, one game wonder. I think we can confirm that. I love Campaign, but it's just a sad truth. It was just like that one big game, and then he just didn't really do much else from there.
He had a good final game, if I don't remember. I think he was on.
He had 10 points.
It felt like he was playing well. It felt like he was playing well.
He's just a really high energy guy that like when he is out there, he's putting his all into the plays and he's just out there screaming.
Yeah,
making noise, like clapping back at players. So yeah, that game when Chris Paul was out and he went off for like 29 against the Nuggets.
Clippers.
It was against the Clippers.
Clippers, yeah.
Yeah, crazy game, but that's one thing I feel like this Suns team was missing. It was like a high energy guy like that, like an emotional leader.
Yeah, a heat check guy. They really needed like that heat check guy.
Yeah, they need their Tyler Hero.
Yeah, well, that was like his Tyler Hero moment. That 29 points was like that bubble hero performance for sure.
Hey, nothing's better than bubble hero. Man was on top of the world. Better than up there with Zion and John Morant, the comparisons were.
Dude. They were ready to offer like insane trade offers for Tyler Hero.
They should have done it, bro. They really should have.
You accepting the 96 Dream Team for Tyler Hero? Nah. Or 98.
They're like, dude, this guy's like future MVP, like Booker potential. I'm like, bro, like, come on.
Nah.
Hey, the bubble gave us some great games, though. The freaking Murray versus Donovan Mitchell playoff series was ridiculous. When they both dropped like 50 in the same game.
I love the bubble. I love the bubble. Like the bubble playoff fun. Game. Yeah, like the Raptors Celtics series was dope. All like the Heat Bucks. Like even though it was like a massacre, kind of, it was just like, damn, like I can't believe this is actually happening. Finals were great. There's a lot of I mean, Murray, Mitchell, he said like a lot of dope moments. I
felt like there was really parity, at least in the East, because nobody expected the Heat to get to the finals, let alone drive the Lakers to 6.
Yeah, I know. Like the Heat, Celtics, Raptors, and then the Bucks. Like those four, I'm like, I could see any of them getting the finals.
Yeah, I mean, I think without fans, a lot of like the home court advantage kind of like faded away. So it was really just who wants it more that day.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, facts. Let's get to the future. I mean, we touched on the Suns a little bit. What their kind of 2-3 year next 2 to 3 years are kind of looking like, and just what do you guys think? We have a post up on our Instagram about off-season moves. What do you guys think? What do they need to do to potentially get back? Because the Western Conference is only going to get tougher. I think the Clippers. I think the Clippers are going to regress just because they're going to be without Kawhi. Either whether he leaves or just because of the ACL, they're just going to be without him the whole season. The Nuggets are going to get healthier. Lakers are going to come back healthier. The Warriors are, going to come back and hopefully get to, championship level with our picks or whatever we do.
Luka's always going to do something.
Yeah, you can never count out Luka and the Mavs. Dame stays on the Blazers. They'll be interesting, not like finals contenders, but they're still going to be tough.
Tough out.
Yeah, tough out. This was their best chance, and the road was paved perfectly for them, and they ran into an all-timer. They ran into the Greek Freak who, we out on our last Sunday talk. You asked me, is he in that Dirk, KG kind of echelon? After this, he could retire, and he's for sure probably in the Duncan, and he's in there right now. After this,
yeah, he's in the mix.
He's for sure in the mix. He just needs a few more years. But back to the Suns. What do you guys think they need to do to stay on? Just to stay on this pace and hopefully get back to the finals one day.
It's a hard situation. So going in the next season, they have an expiring contracts with DeAndre Ayton and Mikal Bridges. Bridges is going to get 16 to 18 million a year. Ayton's going to get 26 million a year, I think, in that range. And you already got Booker's on a huge contract. We don't know what CP3 is going to do. CP3 could decline his deal and assign a longer extension. They're going to be under a lot of cap problems. So it's going to be getting veteran guys, like how the Bucks, we'll get to that. Not guys like Bobby Portis and Bryn Forbes who are solid, 10-point per game scores, for mid-level exception. So it's really going to be about digging deep into the draft, looking for those guys in the later rounds that can really turn out to be a star, like Draymond Green in the later rounds, even Chris Middleton out there holding up the championship trophy. A lot of late round gems. It's easier said than done, but they got to have their scouting department focus. I feel like it's always, they always miss out on the guys like for example, Peyton Pritchard last year in the draft, a guy who was always a super good college scorer, but people kind of skipped out on him. And then now he's doing so well in the NBA, surprise not, there's a reason why. And even guys like Devontae Graham, I think even Max Abesmith, the guy from Oral Roberts, I think he'll be a solid backup guard in the league just because, he was such a dominant college scorer. There shouldn't be a reason why his scoring can't translate. But I think the Suns, we also talked about it on the post on our Instagram, like Carson mentioned, Jalen Smith might be a guy they want to move out from. And, maybe they want to throw in, some guy like Javon Carter, a really solid, 3-and-D guy. If they want to go out there and get a guy, they're going to have to throw in picks if they're going to make this run, because their picks are going to be all mediocre with, Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton running with his team for the next couple of years. So you got to go all in as you can. Who cares? Let Sam Presti get his fucking fifth graders first overall picks. Who cares? So you got to go out there and you got to make moves that you can. I like, getting guys like a Frank Kaminsky for $1.6 million. That's a solid deal. But you got to find those other Torrey Craigs, those other campaigns, all those guys. They're always out there. They're always looking for a chance. So. And
Kaminsky did the best he could Game 6. I thought he actually played pretty solid
he was all right.
He's a solid backup big.
Yeah, he was decent. Jose, you got anything?
Yeah, I don't know if necessarily Chris Paul signing him to an extension would be the best for this team's long-term success. I think even if they weren't to get him back, they can start to refactor this squad to kind of build that championship mentality without Chris Paul, because Chris Paul's not going to be there forever. Man's already 36. He doesn't fit the timeline that well. So if they're stuck trying to win right now, they could ruin a lot of their future success.
Yeah, and it really is just a massive what if with their pick. And I don't mean to just disrespect Jalen Smith, just a lot of potential. I'm just looking at these guys and there's so many guys that were drafted after that I think really just would have made a massive difference. Maybe could have pushed it to 7 or potentially could have won it. I mean, we already mentioned Halliburton, Neesmith, Isaiah Stewart, Sadiq Bey, Achua. Achua could have been 6 fouls that you put on Giannis, Maxey, Quickly, Pritchard, Jaden McDaniel. I mean, a lot of those guys wouldn't have gone so high, but just a lot of guys that like would have definitely helped. I think both teams were a guy or two short, really. I mean, they made it this far because they lasted the longest. Pause, but they just were really missing like a couple guys. So we'll get to the Bucks, who crazy. They were only 7 deep. I mean, Giannis, Middleton, Drew, Connaughton, Portis,
Lopez, Tucker,
and that's really it.
That is it.
And they would have
That's literally it, yeah.
And they would have had Dante, so it would have been 8, but 7 guys basically. So I think, with them, just keep those core 3, because if you have those core 3, you're going to be in the mix. So it doesn't matter who's around you. You got to keep those core 3. And then they can just, I think really now just bringing in a couple more guys, just bringing in like 1 or 2, defensive guys, because I think that's what ultimately I think won them. Like obviously with Giannis, Middleton, their offensive brilliance, but the defense is really like the identity of this team. So if you bring in a couple more guys that really good defensively, that just hit a couple of shots to you, I think it's really all you need to do if you're the Bucks. And I think just get a little bit deeper, honestly. Go 8 or 9 man deep. I think it's really all you need to keep competing, man. As long as you have those 3.
I mean, like you're talking about, I alluded to, like Bryn Forbes, a guy who shot extremely well from 3, made his name on that San Antonio Spurs team, of a lot of guards who they still have a lot of guards. Bobby Portis, you got to hope and pray this man just accepts his player option, even though it's $4 million. He is the heart of that team right now. I mean, I don't particularly like him that much, but like, I'm not a Milwaukee fan. Like, man's a goon. Like, he kind of pissed me off when he ran across the court, but like, he's bringing the hype to the crowd.
I love when Middleton was like, yo, like, listen, like, I love the energy, but like, we're trying to win the finals here. Like, you can't be giving up like
exactly.
Like I thought that was like super, super funny.
Yeah. But I mean, you got to look at guys like Brook Lopez. He's done well in his time in Milwaukee, but I think it might be time to call cuts on it. He'll be 34 next season, making $12.5 million a year. I don't know if he's going to be worth that much money when he's making nearly 14 in its age 36, 35 season. So you're going to have to look into that. But, PJ Tucker, he's on an expiring contract. Is he going to come back? Who knows? Probably best if he comes back on like a mid-level exception or veterans minimum if they can get for him. But, they got to keep going out there looking for guys that, going to want to ring chase, because when you come off a championship, teams usually want to gravitate towards you. Giannis is a guy that people will gravitate towards. So we'll have to see. I mean, a lot of money, nearly $100 million in cap space allotted to this big 3 on the team, which doesn't really give a lot of room for improvement. So you got to hope that with their small draft picks that they have, they can hit on guys that can provide. So yeah, got to hope DiVincenzo can take a step, continue to be that 3-and-D monster he is. Pat Connaughton's a solid 3-point shooter. But otherwise, I mean, not too much room for improvement. So, the GM out there in Milwaukee, he's got a lot of stuff ahead of him, even though, celebrate as much as you want. But when it comes down to it, you have a lot of things to address this offseason to make sure your team still stays up there. And, you got to be able to compete with the Nets, because the Nets are a scary freaking team when they're healthy. Three of the top 15 players in the league, arguably, and it's going to be hard to stop them.
Yeah.
A secondary like ball handler would be nice for them. I mean,
yeah,
off the bench they don't really have a guy like that. Yeah, I mean they got Jeff Teague, but man was just out there running cardio for 2 minutes. A guy I really like coming out of the draft, Chris Duarte, a 6'6" guard out of Oregon.
That's really just like Pat Connaughton, but better in my opinion.
Yeah, but he can like really like be a ball handler though, like run the offense.
And he can play right away. Like he's old, he can come in and play right away.
24-year-old senior. Yeah, I mean, a bit of like the Malcolm situation with Malcolm Brogdon, where he's just like old as shit coming into the league. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean Dante coming back would be nice too.
But no, I mean, I think you could even like look into free agency. I think you could get a guy like Alfred Payton who's supposed to be a free agent this offseason. That I mean, as much as he's kind of a trash player, he's a good ball handler. He puts up a lot of box score stats, and he's a solid bench piece. Or even, I mean, you want to take a shot on a guy like Dante Exum or Patty Mills leads the Spurs. That's a really good role player to have on your team.
Oh, that's just like a pack a punch Forbes, basically.
I know.
Oh
I love
yeah,
Patty Mills is a goat. Love that boy.
Yeah.
he going
Um,
crazy in the Olympics right now.
crazy.
Hey, don't worry. Team USA gonna pull this off. JK, Luka Doncic win gold. I'd go
Oh my,
crazy. I'm
that
rooting.
that would be better. That would be like more impressive than a championship. I can't even lie.
Oh no, 100%. I'm rooting for Luka Doncic at this point. Screw the USA.
Screw the
And
US.
if he beats the US, hits a shot in like Devin Booker's face, it's like
Dude, that would be so foul
Or
for
like
Booker.
KD just like hits like his signature step back on him.
Oh my god,
yeah.
that would be disgusting. But I think the
Why is
Bucks.
Trey not there?
I don't know. They didn't
That's
offer
an
him the
amazing
invite.
question. He probably declined it.
Yeah, most people decline him.
Yeah, especially like when you go so deep in the playoffs. But with the Bucks, I think they're in a much better situation conference wise than the Suns because with the Suns, I mean, obviously the West is better. A lot of teams are going to come back stronger. But I think in the East, it's the Nets, and then Philly. Who knows what's going to happen with Philly? I mean, if they end up with Dame, then that would be pretty scary. But they probably won't be as deep as the Bucks. The Knicks might make a move, but I don't see any move that would put them even close to the Bucks. The Hawks, it's really just going to be the Nets and then probably the Hawks again. I think the Hawks are going to be really good for the next few years.
The Heat, if they make a move, I could see the Heat, being a threat.
Come back, yeah.
But we got to see Hero take a progression. We got to see like Kyle Lowry come over there and play like his all-star self.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they sign Kawhi and Kawhi will be ready to go he wouldn't even be ready he got injured late in the playoffs, so
Bro, I'm reading this article. Trey Young apparently was just snubbed. I mean, it says he wanted to play and he's unhappy. The headline says
whoa.
Ice Trey will be kept in the freezer for the summer.
Dang.
Damn,
Dude,
Pop must got something against him, bro.
Trey is
Oh no.
exactly like the player that like the US needs. Like we need like another shooter and like just a creator.
Run the second unit. That's what we need him to do because Drew Holiday is the second unit point guard. Like
Yeah,
no shade on him. Like he won a chip, obviously, but
no, I
It's
mean
Trey Young.
the facts are the facts. Like Drew was fantastic. He was incredible defensively, but just because he won a championship doesn't mean he's still super inconsistent on offense and he's not really creative.
yeah, he shot like 4 for 20 in Game 6, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he had a lot of terrible games. Like we're not gonna.
But he
we're
filled
not
up the
gonna
stat sheet. He
No,
filled
no,
up
no.
the stat sheet.
He is a box score filler.
Dude, he averaged hold on, he averaged a
I'll
lot.
say averaged like 7 rebounds or something. Like he was
Yeah, something stupid.
Dude, he averaged 9 assists, which was when I saw it was mind-boggling. I had no
in
idea.
the finals or the playoffs.
Finals.
Yeah.
Damn.
No, but was it also shout out the freaking Bucks? Crazy enough, it's so weird to think about that they aren't publicizing enough. They won 4 games in a row. Like once Giannis came back, they went undefeated. So they theoretically could have swept them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the guy done at home. The game that game 5 was like, obviously Giannis's performance game 6 was insane, but that game 5 was like
The ending oop. Yeah. That kind of signified the
The
end.
block.
we're gonna see that forever.
Oh.
Like that's iconic. Like they go to Phoenix and tie it to incredible. Like and even with Giannis and so like all like the Bucks played fantastic, but like we can't undermine like the Suns. Like they had every opportunity, man. They had they could have got game 4, could have got game 5. Game 6 was still close going down the wire. Like they really did have every chance, and it just Bucks just I don't know if I don't really attribute it to the Suns just choking, but they had every chance and they were right there. It's sad,
D Book missed the shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he just didn't know what to do on the last possession, game 5. He wasn't exactly sure what exactly he wanted to run or what kind of shot he wanted to get into. Yeah, they had every chance, man, and I want to see them get back. Because I really like the Suns team. They were super cohesive. They obviously Monty is a fantastic coach. Dude, people were even hating on him going in the locker room. They're like, oh, like he's trying to make it about himself, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, y'all are just hating too much. Like, I thought that was like very classy. Like, I like the Suns team a lot. I just, someone had to win and someone had to lose. Like, it's just how it goes.
Yeah. I mean, Chris Paul, despite having pretty decent stat lines throughout, I mean, he did have a game where he had like,
yeah, the turnovers
and then,
were an
the biggest
issue.
Moments, and the biggest moments, I mean, he disappears. He's passing it out to Jay Crowder. He's like just kind of standing there in the corner. Like, there were points where I was like, is Chris Paul even in the game right now?
Yeah.
And he was just not doing anything.
Yeah. I felt like he was forcing a lot of shots too. There's a lot of times where I'm just like, you're just kind of forcing that like mid-range fade or whatnot.
Yeah.
It's a bucket shot though. He makes it a lot.
He does, yeah. But there was a lot of times where it'd be like Giannis would be in his face, or like Portis with like super long arms would be in his face or something. Just like feel like he could have got like I want to see him get to the basket a little bit more. But I mean that's a lot to ask against the Bucks, who are like one of the best rim protecting teams.
Sure.
Yeah, but let's see, man. I'm just kind of looking through my notes, see if we left anything else off. Despite Giannis's greatness, I think we could all maybe agree that I don't want to appoint him as it's his league. Like he has the crown right now, but I don't necessarily like he's still like I'm still not gonna choose Giannis as the guy I want to go to like at the end of the game. And if KD's foot isn't as big as it is, I think we'd be saying all this stuff about what we're saying about Giannis. We'd be saying about KD. I think you could just flip flop them,
Yeah.
Oh, because Kyrie probably could have been healthy and they would have been game over. They would have swept the Hawks. They would have swept the Suns. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I think the Bucks Nets series that we were really, really, really excited for, which ended up being a fantastic series nonetheless. But I think the real series that we want to see will probably happen next year. And hopefully everyone's healthy for that, because that will be crazy.
Christmas Day. Got to be the game. Got to be the primetime game.
Yeah.
Bucks Nets?
No question.
I
already
like
know
the
it's gonna be
Giannis
Warriors,
Harden
Lakers.
rivalry, bro. I think that is like I
The
think now it's finally like I mean it was always kind of lingering, but now it's like full effect. Like
I
Giannis
love
got the
that
last laugh.
storyline.
Nah,
Yeah.
I want Kings Pistons primetime, actually. That's my first game.
Cade versus Fox.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Nah, they're gonna draft
school him.
bro, they're gonna draft someone stupid. They're gonna
Who
take
would
like
they
Kai
take?
Jones number one
Kuminga.
overall.
They're gonna take Kuminga.
Kuminga.
No, they're gonna take Mobley.
They need more big men, yeah. Just throw them all out.
Oh my gosh.
They go trade him
Imagine
for
Twin
like
Towers. Twin Towers.
Dude. That's so fried.
They're gonna get Greg Monroe part 2. They're just gonna start bringing back the old team.
Oh my gosh.
Smash Mouth basketball.
Real quick before we go, can we talk about how much love Brandon Jennings is getting, even though he really did not do all that much in Milwaukee?
Bucks in 6, baby. Dropped a 50-point game and dipped.
He did get the Middleton though, and I think that's enough.
Yeah.
That's funny because that's really what he's for.
Yeah, that's enough. That's honestly enough. Like you're the reason you got Middleton, like the closer, like the second best player. Like
watch him get a ring out of this. Like they're gonna give him a ring.
Nah. Where's he at now?
Nowhere. He's not in. He's probably in Guangdong, bro.
Yeah, I don't think he's. I'm not sure he's playing.
He's not. I know him and Brandon Knight, the two Brandons. They ain't playing anymore.
Damn, and they were in the trade for Chris Middleton.
And Chris Middleton was a throw-in. He was a bum in that trade.
Yeah. I've always liked Brandon Jennings was like a hooper back in the day, but it's just funny to see, like, it's not like he's like a Bucks like legend or anything. It's not like he's Kareem or Oscar. He's just like a decent like solid player.
And he
now
dropped
he's
50
like,
as a rookie, though.
it did, true. And now he's like all over my social media feeds. Like he's turned up. The Bucks know how to party, and they've given us like one of the funniest memes where they're like, "Oh, like how many bottles of champagne have you guys had or something?" And then like, I think it's
They
Connaughton
just look
and
at each other.
they just look at each other and start laughing.
Dante and
That is
Portis.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Isn't
Hey,
it Dante and Portis?
I think it was Connaughton because Portis was. I mean,
Oh,
Dante was on crutches.
Oh
But
yeah,
hey,
Dante didn't suit up.
Aaron Rodgers won his last thing in freaking Wisconsin. That's it. The last ever thing he'll win. He won his chip.
Yeah. Also, shout out Mallory Edens for looking beautiful as ever.
Baddie, certified Drake babe.
Dude,
I saw a thing because they've won now, Aaron's gonna kind of like sit back and maybe buy more stock in the Milwaukee Bucks. I don't know, but I've seen reports that he's retiring next week.
Whoa.
That would be a shocker.
He's just gonna retire and then someone's gonna pick him up. I just want to see him play somewhere.
I mean, I don't know, dude. He's kind of invested in Milwaukee now. I mean, he's got stock in the Brewers. I think he's also got some in not in the Brewers, in the Bucks, but I think he does also have some in the Brewers, if I'm not mistaken.
He can still play for another team and be invested in Wisconsin.
Imagine he goes to like a division rival, and he going to the Lions. Watch.
Oh God, the Bears.
Nah, he's going to the Broncos if anything.
Yeah, Broncos.
They need him, bro. They don't need Drew Horsecock anymore. He's ass.
No, it's just the Bucks.
Hey, he joining the Nets, bro.
What would be like the most fried option for him to go to? Niners would have been
New England.
Crazy. New England. Who else?
I'm trying to think of like a really good NFC team just so we can go against Tom Brady still.
Yeah. Saints would be wild.
The Saints ain't got no weapons no more. Michael Thomas out for the beginning of the year. That's gonna be tragic.
I saw that.
His draft stock going.
Kamara, way
Falcons.
up. I take Kamara like maybe number one at this point. No cap.
Yeah.
It's a hot take, but
really
he's getting volume.
Yeah.
There's so many weapons in Carolina, and then nobody in freaking
nobody in New Orleans.
Yeah, I actually wouldn't take CMC first. I'd take at least Dalvin first. Dalvin or Kamara.
That's gonna be interesting. But
I don't know. I would still take CMC.
Shout out Milwaukee. Y'all came through. Went from bottom of the East to top. 15 games they won just a couple seasons ago. Now they're the 2021 NBA champions.
Homegrown too, man. I mean, Giannis, it's really like he's up there with like Dirk, Steph, the Kobe, he's in like that, homegrown. He's in that homegrown superstar list, and it's dope to see, man. It's dope. I'm happy for the kid. I'm happy for Giannis.
But next season's going to be crazy, though. Every team, hopefully everyone's healthy. That's a stretch. That's not going to happen, but let's see. It's going to be some fireworks next year.
Oh, for sure. We need the healthy Lakers, Nets back. We need the Warriors back. NBA. I mean, we got a taste of it with Steph being awesome, but we need like the whole team to be good again. And then we need both of these teams just keep doing what they're doing. I think both these teams are still going to be really good next year. Just they need to keep competing. It's going to be awesome, and I'm excited to see the Bucks, go on their defending the throne, run and see what they can do.
Hey, if they're healthy next year, hot take, I'm taking the Nuggets in the finals to make it out the West. Jamal Murray next year, Michael Porter Jr., Jokic.
They're due. I can see that too. Maybe not next year, but within like the next 2 to 3 years, because they've been taking kind of like the Bucks. The Bucks were like taking their lumps the last couple of years. Like that's what most champions do. You lose in the playoffs. For a few years before you get there. Hey. And that's what the Nuggets have been doing. They've been, it's been 3 years now. They've been taking their lumps in the playoffs. They're due. They're due eventually.
Bowl starting at the 4. Watch out.
Whole bowl.
What a
This
man.
Gonna make a
I wish
trade
they
for
still had
eBay.
Hampton, man. I really like Hampton.
Uh-huh.
But
All right.
without further ado, though, just a little ramble episode for you guys. But we got to the finals for the most part. We touched on the finals. We touched on all that other stuff too. But without further ado, that's gonna end it for our finals recap and just rambling sports talk for y'all. It's like we're in Mr. Smith's class again, man.
Exactly.
Literally, because I'm doing fucking Calc 2 right now, bro.
Rest
So,
in
yeah.
peace.
I got a
that's
quiz
gonna wrap it
later.
up. We got Sunday talk coming up on Sunday, of course, and then draft stuff. Drafts coming up. We're gonna give you guys a draft.
Next week, the NBA draft is.
We will have a draft episode for you guys before before the draft happens, whether it's a mock draft or just like, guys that we're really excited for, whatnot, like, or both. I don't know, but we're going to give you some draft content for sure before it drops on the 29th. Yeah, 29th.
29th, Thursday, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
NFL preseason in like 2 weeks too.
It's going crazy. We going to the moon.
Yep, it's getting scary, man. It's getting fun. So yeah, that's gonna do it. Like I said, check those out. A lot of content coming your way. Blog posts coming up soon. Just a lot of content going out there. So yeah, take care. Peace.